I would like to cosplay Sonya. As much as I have mixed feelings about Sonya over the years, I really like her costume this time around. And I actually really like all the costumes this time around. Listen, we're talking about this topic, and it's later on the topics list, and we're already talking about it now.
No, but let's talk about it now. We're here.
Yeah.
So just as long as you save that costume, so you can pass it down to my daughter when she inevitably wants to cosplay as Sonya Blade, which you've told me is going to happen.
You know what? Now I feel like that's not a bad thing, because I have complained about Mortal Kombat 9 a lot on this show because I really, really disliked the costumes in Mortal Kombat 9, and I put up article at Pace this week about like the evolution of the Mortal Kombat games, and I talked about that in there, and they have completely redesigned all of the women's costumes and the men's costumes to some extent, but mostly the ladies in Mortal Kombat 10 look so freaking cool.
Yep.
And it's such a relief to me to play the game now, because
Actually, the men are more naked than the women.
well, that's as it should be. No, I'm just kidding. But
you're
no.
gonna
I'm kidding. I mean, like, Melina is still wearing like her sports bra thing.
Gorgeous,
but that's like in character for her, and I feel like it's in character for Sonya and Cassie to be wearing this more tactical gear, and like Jackie looks really cool. Like I really like every single costume across the board. And that almost never happens in a fighting game. Like, I'm never raving about the costumes in a fighting game. They're usually juvenile and pornographic because, like, that's what's expected. And I think that this is really, really cool that they actually designed something. And I don't know the artists that they hired, but, like, props to whoever those people are.
Maddy, I have to so strongly agree with what you're saying. And what really bothered me about the designs for Mortal Kombat 9 was, like, all the women universally looked like they had really, like, their breasts were so large and like they looked like cantaloupes, like glued to their chest in just like a really unappealing way. And, it's like, it's not that I'm opposed to the idea of like cleavage. It's that if it looks pretty versus, kind of trashy, and Melina in this version looks very, she feels like a character and less like an object. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, and I think it's the difference between having a character who is sexy versus sexualized.
Yeah,
like she's a woman who like is sexy and that's part of her character, but she is completely in control because she's like this succubus character who like has really, really sharp teeth and like eats men's faces. So like that's part of her character. So like that, I feel like they navigated that in a really clever way by giving her a costume that was really sexy but also completely practical. And that is hard to do. And like all the other characters besides Melina, I would say aren't wearing sexy costumes. Like in my opinion, I feel like
they're sexy, but they're not.
They're more utilitarian, I think. Yeah, like they're just wearing like normal stuff. This sounds so silly that I'm saying it this many times, but people need to look up what Mortal Kombat 9 looked like if you don't understand how huge of a difference this is. Yeah. And it's only been a few years. Like that came out in 2011, and like I was reviewing it for the Phoenix, and I was really upset by it at the time. And I remember facing like a lot of pushback from my male friends who were like, "What are you complaining about?" And like, it is incredible to me to see the change in how people are talking about this game and the characters in it just in that short time. That's really cool to me. I
couldn't agree more. I think Devorah is a really good breakout character too, and
she looks sick.
But she's well characterized, and her outfit is form fitting, but it's not trying to sexualize her. And I think it's a complete turnaround. I mean, on top of being a great game. So anyway,
like what you heard? Listen to the full episode at relay.fm/isometric or search for Isometric in iTunes.